Is it on? Is it on? Okay. Hey! Okay, so this video um, is about no more makeup. What the fuck? Sorry, I just had to say it. It's kind of fucking annoying me now. It's like bitches and makeup. And this is my take up on it. I'm seeing bitches out here, and they make up shit. And now that I'm older and more consciously aware of my spirituality and getting more consciously aware about the world and all its lies and bullshit, deceivingness. And I'm becoming more aware about makeup in a way that it's like, what the fuck? Especially in this Rastafari movement that I'm on, it's not part of the religion that women don't wear makeup, but it's suggested that they don't wear makeup. Why? Because we call it war paint. It's like, it's not, oh, you shouldn't do it, but it's more like, why the fuck are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something you need to live at all. It's not something you need to feel pretty about at all, because it's putting up a mask. You're putting up a facade, a big facade. You're literally putting up a mask. And I didn't realize how much this was true. I mean, Rastas don't talk about it as much, but I'm going to talk about it. Not as a Rasta, but just as me. So, me personally walking around campus in my school, and I'm seeing these bitches that are pretty, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, these girls are sexy. Everybody's like, oh my God, look at that girl. She's fucking cute. She's fucking sexy. And becoming more consciously aware about this, I'm realizing, hold up, let me take a second. This bitch got fake eyes, fake eyelashes, fake lipstick. Fake lips. Because, you know what I'm saying? You put lipstick on, you're putting fucking glaze, like you fucking got donuts on your fucking lips or whatever. Don't do that shit. You got powder all over your face. You know what I'm saying? Bitch got eyeliner on. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? She tweezed her fucking eyebrows. It's like, oh my God, you're not the same person that you're supposed to be. That's creepy as fuck. Like, for a nigga that doesn't wear any makeup, that eats natural foods, that, you know what I'm saying, has natural hair to the fullest extent, why the fuck would I want to contaminate my shit with some bitch that don't even know how to love herself? Her face. Like, what the fuck? That's the first shit. You see that shit every morning. I see this shit every morning. And I can tell you, I don't go on my shit and be like, oh, no, there's a nose. What's going on, man? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, a friend right there, But yeah, I don't go and look at myself and whatnot and then say to myself in the mirror, my nose is too big. I'm going to cut this off right there and cut that off right. Like, what the fuck? That shit's kind of stupid to me. So, I mean, I come from this place that I feel like makeup's just ridiculous now, To be honest with you, it's just really, but almost pathetic in a sense, and people, that's why I say I don't respect adults. I don't respect the system that we're in. Even though I'm only 19 years old, I feel like we never change at all. We just get older. You see what I'm saying? Like my consciousness. See, society teaches you not to be consciously aware. Not in the sense when they don't want you to, but they don't teach you. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be taught to do something. Most Americans are taught English, right? Because we're in fucking America. They're not taught Spanish growing up. Why? Because we're not in any Spanish-speaking country. We speak English. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that they purposely didn't want to teach you Spanish. That's an example for the consciousness. America doesn't... It's not that they don't want to teach you to be consciously aware. They just don't know anything about it. And they're set up in this system where they're planted to the brain to think that it's that way. So, it's not, there's no verses in this debate of no makeup or makeup. It's just becoming more aware of these things. So, a lot of people on YouTube, I looked up these videos, I looked up something controversial that might make people think, shouldn't men wear makeup? Now, a lot of people say, no, that's gay, all this bullshit. Well, number one, there's a higher percentage of gay people now than there was, I'd say, back in, the 90s. So that's number one. So you get fucking videos all day on YouTube now with men doing makeup. Number two, should men do makeup? A lot of people say, if you have something on, you cover it up, which is fucking retarded. Do you know what you're telling people? You're literally telling people they have to look a certain way. We are all different. Why the fuck would we do that? You see what I'm saying? It's like right now, Justin Bieber got his hair all up and shit, right? Well, now I know a lot of guys in high school that are doing that shit. And it's like, it's cool, you know, do you. But why are you doing that shit? You're not doing it to be yourself. You're doing it to look like somebody else, subconsciously. You see? So it really bothers me to see people, you know, I had a girl that sat in my class, and, you know, I'm not really the one to love somebody on first sight, because, you know, people can betray you and they're fucking stupid. So I see this girl in front of me, beautiful black woman, just sexy to the fucking T, you know. I love all bitches. You could be obese as fuck, I still love you. So she looks pretty, you know what I'm saying, from the backside, because I'm sitting behind her. And she has this big afro, just amazing big afro. And I'm just like, oh my God, a natural hair. She has the confidence to be herself. I fucking love you. You know, because I go to HBU and I see bitches all day with weaves, and that's really depressing. And then the next day, there she goes with the longest tracks you can possibly. I mean, like, you can see the center of the fucking. You know how you see a fucked up weave where you had the little cinnamon roll shit that has like little tracks, and you can see that shit out in the open. That's what I saw. So that shit let me know I'm mad. She didn't straighten that shit. You see what I'm saying? She braided it up and mounted a fucking Indian girl's scalp on top of her fucking head. You know what I'm saying? Like we in Chainsaw Massacre or some shit. Yeah. So I mean, it was devastating, because it was like, oh my God, she put a weave on, and not that she just put a weave on, but that shit was like, it was her butt. Like, it was like, oh my God, you're wearing that much fake? What the fuck? That's a little weird for me. Why would you do something like that? It's ridiculous, you know? I even came a little joke up with it, you know. Came up with a little joke. We can't have a black Rapunzel. You can imagine that shit. Rapunzel, let down your tracks. Like, what the fuck? Like, hell nah, what the fuck? I mean, that's gonna happen. Shit, she gonna be like, oh my God, my afro, I can't let this down, it's too fucking big. Hold on. Fucking Rapunzel's mom gonna start braiding that shit up and sewing a fucking weave and let down my tracks. It's ridiculous, you know? I'm tired of this shit. You know, we could say here and there, oh, we gotta do it to survive and we gotta look some way. The truth is, that's not how you naturally look. You're wearing it to look white because most of society is white. Hispanic, Asians, and white have some type of long flowing hair. Asians have the straightest hair. White people have wavy hair. Hispanics have curly to wavy hair. Niggas have nappy hair. It's that simple. I mean, we try to sit there and define type 2, type B, be real with yourself, your hair's nappy, just enjoy that shit. That's the way God made it. You only made relaxers to look white. Think about it. Why don't white people do that shit? Take all the shit that black people do and reverse it to white people. Right now, I go to school, I go to an HBU, historically black college. Why the fuck we still calling this shit historically black? I understand, it is historically black, but you don't see colleges out there like Texas Tech that were segregated, call themselves historically white. What the fuck? So you see what I'm saying? You gotta come to a conscious state where you know as yourself that you're not technically separating yourself as black. You see? You gotta come to a conscious state where you know yourself well enough to where somebody questions you and it don't have to be like a black response. It's your response. If they think it's a black response, there's something fucked up with them. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole natural hair shit I'm talking about, you know, and how I feel about it. And with these weaves out here, it's just like, what are y'all doing, you know? It's almost, and it's funny too, because a lot of these natural hair girls don't know what to fucking do. And I don't blame them, because their parents is even worse. You know, their parents are in situations where, you know, I mean, my sisters are both natural, but they have a tendency of going back to wearing weaves and shit that are straight, you know, because they don't know what to fucking do with their hair. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, really? You don't know what to do with your fucking hair? So that's why you don't put it's ridiculous to me. You know? I've had for Hispanic girlfriends and not girlfriends, but female friends. And I mean they don't I got my hair I've had it for 4 weeks like this. I don't know what to do with it. I guess I'm gonna braid this side right here and then cement and roll this side, press permanent. Like, nah, Hispanics, Asians, and whites don't do that shit. They keep it simple. If they do a style, it's maybe a style, but it's not like a big, bold, in your face fucking transformation. Black bitches do a big, bold transformation. And it's like, whoa, what the fuck? And then as niggas, we gotta support the psychological bullshit that goes along with it, and they don't know their own consciousness. So how can you mess with your own psyche? How can you deal with your own psychological problems if your consciousness? We're not grown in this country to fuck with our conscious state. So that's why there's an epidemic right now with black people that don't really understand the whole natural hair movement. It's not a preference type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was, it'd be accepted simply. But the natural hair movement is to naturally know yourself. You feel me? It's more than just hair, It's part of dehumanizing. You know how black people have big lips? What if we start out of nowhere at birth? Because when you're first born, everything's sensitive. They just take a knife and they cut this part right here off and then sew it up to make your lips small. And black people are starting, making a decision to, we're going to let our kids grow their lips out and, keep it regular. It's just like, that's a preference. And then we see this as from a looking glass. You'd be thinking, these niggas are crazy. They're cutting off their kids' lips. It's the same shit with your hair. And a lot of you niggas can't understand that because you ain't that conscious state yet. But once you get there, you will. Think about that shit, Just think about it. It's ridiculous. That's why I really don't enjoy this, this whole relaxers and weaves. It's just really stupid. Like, I really hope whoever I get with, and if I have a daughter or a son, that they don't put any relaxers in their hair, because it's just really stupid. I don't know. It's just it's a part of the culture now. It's part of the it's almost like Health Hop Network said. It's almost like a response, to act that way. And so I don't know how you come up thinking that. It's a response. It's like, my hair is nappy. Boom, I gotta put a relaxer in there, and it's like, whoa, nigga, you're born that way. What the fuck? That makes no sense to do that shit. The hell, when a baby starts crawling, do we cut out his legs? No, nigga. Let that nigga walk. Damn. But we have so many dumbass people. Sorry for me using dumbass, but it's what it is to me. That nigga dumb. That put this shit in their hair. Say it's cool. Black women. It's just like almost impossible to fuck with you guys, because I was reading an article saying that black women have not had a chance to focus on their own psychological problems because they've had to support the black man, which is in every situation, you know what I'm saying, of the dehumanizing process of slavery and colonialism in a lot of these countries out here in the world, that in every civilization, every race, the man is the first one to react because we're more aggressive. Women are more the type just to follow along with what's going on. So any civilization that's under oppression, sorry, we could say downpression. Any civilization that's in downpression, the man's the first one to respond. And then, of course, his response, if there's a sense of hope, that's when the women start to come along, and it's just natural. This is part of life. So women, they don't really know what to say or what to do. They're just kind of following along. So when they have a certain problem, which they always do, they kind of react last to it, and depending on how complicated the struggle is, they might not have a chance to react at all. You see? I mean, there was also something in the women's rights movement. You know, women they're not really, seeing that's what happened. Civil rights movement. A lot of African American civil rights leaders were men because men were the first ones reacting. Like for example, back in the 50s, black men had the perms. They were doing the whole pompadours, grease type shit. Why don't you see that shit at all anymore? Like at all. Niggas don't really do that shit. Why? Because Malcolm X and people like Martin Luther King cut their, perms off and were like, look, we're black men. We're going to keep our hair short like every other man in this, this world. Like other men, we're going to keep our hair short, like our African brothers. And that's how we're going to be. We're going to do it, and we're going to, achieve civil rights. But black women couldn't sit there and couldn't think, well, I'm going to stop getting my perms, because, they're women. They feed off society's, off what society says about them. So truly, they had to kind of follow a black man. That's where the whole sense of having a black woman right, beside me, or a black woman right behind me to, as my backbone. It's almost like a teamwork thing. So that's why black women really didn't have the chance to develop that sense of pride, except in the 70s. But that's when a lot of things went down with the crack epidemic, that changed it all up again, So a lot of things that we as human beings, and that's why I feel like I'm more of a conscious brother, because I see my generation of 19-year-olds in America that just graduated from high school in 2013, and they're not consciously aware of a lot of things. And for me, I feel like I am, And you can call it maturity, but I don't even call it maturity, because maturity to me is in the sense of what people think you should be acting, or how people think you should be acting. In reality, I think it's just more of a consciousness, And I feel like my generation is just not consciously aware. We're too busy listening to Juicy J, which, I was watching his day-to-day, because I watched Wiz Khalifa's day-to-days. And Juicy J's day-to-days are horrible. They're just filled with sex and drugs and alcohol. Literally, that's what's going on. Like, you go to Wiz Khalifa's trailer, and he might have some, some weed, his friends, and some snacks. Juicy J, this nigga has, like, bitches, butt naked, shaking their ass, making them kiss each other, and nothing but alcohol. It's like, are you serious? And that's what our college girls are listening to, Juicy J, that tells them that there's going to be nothing but sluts and hoes, and they have to pop the pussy for them. Like, what? That's gross in so many different levels. You see what I'm saying? So, how do you, get to that situation? That's why even talking to females that you can't really get into a serious conversation, something that has to do with reality. They can't really focus on reality type things, because these rappers and these music artists keep on pulling fancy little lyrics out that are kind of like one-hitters. You see? That's why people love Bob Marley's music, because it relates to a human being. You see? With unlike, Juicy J's lyrics that just relate to the time. So, we kind of look at this, and this has to do with the whole natural hair, thing, because it's more of a consciousness. It's a psychological thing that went part of slavery, and it might never change, but I can only do me, you see what I'm saying, because this is my one experience. And hopefully this video would help a lot of you out there. So that's pretty much all I'd say. AB out.